I mean, we've actually got snow for once in December. How crazy. And it's staying. Hopefully we get some more. Hello my darlings, welcome to day 2 of the 12 days of Christmas. I've been brainstorming ideas around what I could do for these 12 days, because obviously 12 consecutive days of putting out videos. I was like, how can I get a bit creative with it? You know, we've got journal with me's, we've got creative spreads, got some other bits and bobs. And then I was like, I want to start doing some vlog style videos in the new year. This isn't going to be a vlog style video, but I was also thinking about kind of what topics I could do on videos. And something that kind of came to me was like doing a bit of an introduction video, like who am I? What do I do? You know, what's the journal life all about? And who is Carly? And, you know, how did I get here? So I thought I would do just a bit of a kind of introductory, get to know me, a bit about me video, me just kind of talking to the camera. And then what I did think was, if you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments section below. And then if I've got enough questions, I could always do a subsequent like Q&A type video, which could be quite fun. So that's the plan for this video, is me just kind of telling you about a bit of my story and how I got to where I am today. And also I thought it might be helpful for people who maybe want to change career, because I'm going to kind of talk about how I changed my career and got into coaching and got into all the things that I do today. So, you know, I thought it could be a bit of a helpful video. Maybe, you know, even if it just inspires one person or helps one person to maybe make some changes, then amazing. But generally I just thought I would do a bit of a introductory video. So I haven't even really thought about this too much. I don't have a script or anything. I'm just going to kind of try and talk you through maybe the last kind of 4 or 5 years. Probably we'll go a little bit further back and we'll discuss kind of the early years of my life and kind of how I got to where I am today. So if we rewind and we go back to kind of like leaving school and going to university when I was like 18, 19. I won't even do any years before that, and we'll save that for another video in the future, I'm sure. But I didn't get the grades to go to university straight after sixth form, which sixth form is like the last kind of stage of something in my mouth then. The last kind of stage of school in the UK. So some people go to college, some people have sixth form, which is like when you're 16, 17, 18. And then at 18, you know, a lot of people, well, definitely when I was that age, everyone was going to university. And I didn't really visualise myself working in an office or just kind of getting an office job straight out of school. So I was like, what can I do? So I actually was inspired by Angelina Jolie in the film Taking Lives, and I really wanted to be a detective. You know, I was sucked into that kind of Hollywood CSI style. This is what a detective is like. You know, it's really glamorous and it's really cool and exciting. So I went to university and I studied criminology and applied psychology, and then I went and studied a master's in criminology with the intention of like maybe getting into some sort of detective work. I even looked at private investigator work as well. Soon came to realise that it was not as glamorous and not as like exciting as the films make it out to be. So I was like, yeah, probably not going to do that. I did end up working for the police for a bit, but in a civilian role, very much an admin role. But I also got very much involved in the world of emergency planning and crisis management, which is all about, you know, planning for bad shit that's going to happen, bad things that are going to happen. So it was really interesting. And then I got a fantastic job in the aviation industry and international airport, doing emergency and contingency planning, and really just kind of, you know, immersed myself in the world of what do we do when bad things happen? You know, what do we do when, in the aviation industry, for example, what do we do when a plane crashes? What do we do when, you know, there's a fire? And what do we do when the airport's shut? And all of those sorts of things. And it was really interesting, and I did like it. I didn't love it. I liked the kind of fast-pacedness of it, but I knew that I was made for more. without kind of going really into the nitty gritty of it, during that kind of time of working for the police and then working for moving into the aviation industry, I had a little kind of, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Where do I want to be? And I did think about doing coaching and life coaching specifically at that point. I then got this, amazing job, which I just mentioned. And I was in that job for about 4.5 years, nearly 5 years, during which I kind of was like, I still think that there's more to this life for me. I don't see myself working here forever. What can I do? And I went on like a soul searching mission, and I spent a lot of time figuring out what I wanted to do. And I came back to that life coaching idea that I'd had, about 4 or 5 years previously at this point, or maybe not that much, maybe 3 or 4 years previously. And so I was like, what does that look like? What does that entail? How can I get into that? And I started researching. I'd set up my journaling Instagram in 2017, which blew up. I grew that to over 80,000 followers in a very short period of time, maybe 18 months. That grew massively. I hit around 85, I think, thousand followers. I'm at about 66 now on my Instagram. And so just to kind of give you a bit of insight to that, since changing my focus from solely journaling, very much like bullet journaling, very much creative journaling, that's what it was in the early days, I transitioned into kind of the coaching space, and I started sharing a variety of things around coaching and journaling, and the kind of two intertwined. I've lost like 20,000 followers. So I just think that's a really interesting piece of information to share with you, because that's wild. Like 20,000 people is a lot of people. That's enough to fill like the O2 arena in London. That's a hell of a lot of people. Now, I've learned over the last few years to let go of the numbers when it comes to social media. And so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with losing 20,000 followers. But just to kind of share that and be completely transparent with you, that I grew my Instagram for a different, it was very much bullet journaling. It was very much art journaling, creative journaling. There was not anything to do with coaching until mid to end of 2019, when I really started to go on this journey of like, what do I want to do? Where do I see myself going in the future? So I did lots of different things. I spent a lot of time researching, a lot of time understanding how can I become a coach? What do I want to do with my coaching? I knew I wanted to incorporate creativity and journaling into my business or my future, but I wasn't fully sure how I could do that. So I just spent a lot of time. And at this point I was working, full time. So my evenings, my weekends, sometimes early mornings were spent studying, learning, reading, understanding how to even start an online business. I enrolled in Marie Forleo's B School, which was absolutely fantastic and a very kind of pivotal point for me in that journey of, okay, this is real now, because I'm investing money and a decent amount of money in these things. So I did that, which gave me a foundation and an understanding of, okay, what are the steps I need to take to build an online business? And I'm going to keep this quite high level, because there's so much that goes into building and creating an online business, a coaching business specifically, and a creative business as well. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of give you the highlights really, because otherwise, we'll be here for days. So I did B School. That was like the summer of 2019, and then I spent the rest of the year really continuing this journey, to work and understand how I can build this up. We head into 2020. I'm like, I'm going to try and leave my job by the end of 2020. That was like a thought process I'd had, I'm going to build this up on the side. It's going to be my side business. I'm going to work really, really hard. And then by Christmas, New Year, end of 2020, I'm going to leave my job. Now, I'm sure you can guess what happened in 2020 was that we went into a global pandemic. And what I will say is that fast-tracked some of my decisions. I was on furlough for 7 months from my job. I was at home, and I was at home every single day. And what I did was I took advantage of that time, and I basically went full-time in my business, and I spent every day kind of like, 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever, sitting. I didn't have this desk space at this point. This came a bit later, and I will show you this. I'm going to do, it's an absolute disaster site. So I'm going to actually do a video of me organising it for the 12 Days of Christmas, so you can expect that one coming soon. I spent every day building my website, working out all the ins and outs of what it takes to run a business. And I got into the nitty gritty, and I basically treated it like a full-time job. And at that point, obviously, I wasn't making any money. It was very, very early days. And I just worked so hard. And that's something that I will share with you and be completely transparent with you. If you're thinking of starting an online business, I encourage you to do it, but just know that it's not for the faint-hearted. If you have big dreams and aspirations and goals and, dreams of starting your own business, I am your biggest cheerleader, but I just want you to know that it's hard work. And it's a roller coaster of emotions and feelings. I don't want to sugarcoat that, because it is. So, we're in this pandemic. The world has come to a standstill. Everything has gone online. I embark and enroll myself into some other kind of group coaching programs, business programs, just to really understand what is it? What do I want my business model to look like? And just a note there, my business model is continuously evolving. It's changing all the time, because that's the way online business works. But also I am still finding my feet. I'm where are we now? I'm just over 2 years in full time, and I'm still figuring out what I like to do, what I love to do, what lights me up, what brings me joy, and what do I not really like that much, that actually I get to pick and choose what I get to do in my business, because it's my business and I get to make the rules. So we're in a global pandemic. The world is very weird. There's so much going on, to get used to. It's a very unusual situation. None of us have lived through this. We're living through, literal history. And it's very bizarre. But for me, it was a huge opportunity to really spend that time figuring out what I wanted to do. I left my full-time job. I chose to leave, but actually I would have been made redundant anyway. So I took voluntary redundancy, which means that I got given some money to leave, essentially. My team, there was 5 of us, that went from 5 down to 1 anyway. So I would have been in the same situation had I not made that decision myself. But I'm so pleased I made that decision. I'm so pleased that I felt empowered and strong enough to take the leap, essentially, take that leap. I didn't know at this point that I would have been made redundant, because that happened a few months later, but I would have been. But I'm so happy that I took my destiny into my own hands, shall we say, and I took the leap. So I officially left there at the end of October 2020. So that's kind of where I see, the start of my business was, from then really. And I went all in, and it was an exciting journey, and I had this money. Again, I'm very transparent with this, and I want to be very transparent with anyone that wants to start a business. I had some money when I left my full-time job, had a redundancy package, and I used that as my startup costs. I used that to see me through the first part of the journey. I'd been working with clients for free kind of throughout the summer of 2020. So I'd been building up my expertise. I'd gone back to university, forgot that very, very important part there. Went back to university to study for a master's in applied positive psychology and coaching psychology, and that will give me my credentials to be a coach. So, I'm studying, I'm practicing, I'm learning, I'm a student of life anyway. I'm always learning, but I'm building up my credentials and my qualifications to be a coach. And just a note on that, there are a lot of people out there who are coaches who are not qualified to be coaches, and who give a bad name to the industry, because there are a lot of people out there who are charging a hell of a lot of money to people who shouldn't really be, because they're not qualified to do that. And the qualifications and the credentials was something that was very, very important to me, which is why I invested a lot of money in going back to university and studying again. So yeah, I did lots of studying, and I'm always learning. And something that I want to do in 2023 is, something I am going to do in 2023 is have a day a week that's a study day. And that's a learning day. I get to read, I get to study, I get to just progress myself in this field and in this world, because there's so much to learn and to do. And yeah, that's kind of like how I got to where I am. And I've still spent the last kind of 2 years continuing to learn. I didn't graduate from my master's officially until I finished in the summer of 2021. So last year, and then my graduation was in the autumn. But I'm always learning. And I think that's something that if you want to start your own business is it depends what area your business is in. But if you're interested in like coaching or that this kind of helping profession, then always learning is such a big part of that, and always understanding how you can help your clients in, you know, many different ways, and bringing what you learn into the helping space and into your client calls and your groups and whatever it is that you end up doing. But always learning is something that I love. So yeah, I've just been building my business over the last couple of years, been working, you know, with clients one-to-one. I've got a group community group, community membership, which I have 25 fantastic women in, and that is my baby. So yeah, just work with women in a variety of different ways to just really take back that control of their lives and really empower them to create a life that they love. As cheesy and as cliche as it sounds, because we are so conditioned by society to believe that there is one path and one path only. But I'm here to help you see that it doesn't have to be that way, and actually you can choose your path, you can create your path, you can forge your own path. So that is just something I feel so strongly about, and I could probably do a whole video just talking about, you know, what I do to help people to see that. Maybe that's a video for the future. But, you know, there are many, many different ways that I'm working with people, and I'm just excited to continue to grow and change and see the different ways that I can work with people and create new courses. So next year I want to create a journaling for perfectionists course, because I know that that's something that a lot of people with perfectionism struggle to journal, because it's a big block, because they feel like their journal should look or be a certain way. So that's something I want to make next year. I've got lots of other ideas that I want to bring to life next year. I'm going to spend some time in January really brainstorming what I want to bring to the journal life, to YouTube, to all the different platforms that I'm on, my blogs and things like that, my blog even. If you've got any ideas, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And next year, you know, we're going to be going on the road a bit more. We're going to be renovating the van. There's going to be a whole van renovation series on this channel as well. I'm hoping to be vlogging more and blogging more. And I just really want to get a bit more intentional with the content I'm creating and the way I'm sharing it. But yeah, I mean, that's a bit about me. That's a bit about how I got to where I am in a very, very kind of like quick and dirty kind of summary really of my journey to where I am now. There's so much more that goes into it, but that's just sharing a bit more about me if you were ever interested in, you know, how did I get to where I am today. And also, yeah, like I said at the start, like if it can inspire one of you to actually think about maybe starting your own business or changing careers or just making a change, I really encourage you, if you're thinking about it, if it feels like it's the right time to make a change, then, you know, just start putting one foot in front of the other, make a plan and just move forwards and start taking action, because, you know, you don't have to be stuck. You don't have to feel like you can't move forwards, because like I'm empowering you to do that and to make some changes if it feels like that's what you need to do. So as I said, I think I probably missed so much of my journey because I didn't really script this. I've just kind of spoken at the camera for 21 minutes now. It's going to be pretty easy to edit, I think. If you've got any questions about any of it and you wanted me to go into a bit more detail about things, let me know. And if I feel it's appropriate to share on YouTube, then I will. I hope you've enjoyed learning a bit more about me and my journey, and, you know, about how I'm so passionate about what I do, and just really kind of bringing the world of creativity into helping people to see that they can change their lives, you know, through creativity, through journaling and through conversation. You can do so much. You can take on the world. You can change your life through using those tools that I just mentioned, if you're given the right guidance and if you're willing to do the work as well. I think that's really important. I just want to add as well, because whilst the 12 days of Christmas is running, January enrolment is open, and that is a 14-day guided journaling course which starts in January, and it really helps you to understand what you want from 2023. And it's about setting your intentions for the year and being intentional with how you want the year to kind of look and what you'd like to do with your time. It's not necessarily about setting these big goals and plans. It can definitely be that, but it's more about really understanding what like your heart, your mind, your body and your soul want from the year ahead. We have different themes for the 14 days. You get emails into your inbox with prompts and musings and words of wisdom about the particular topic. It's new and improved for this year. This is the 3rd year that I'm running it. There are going to be different themes and topics for the course this year. So I'm going to stop talking now because I've spoken for quite a long time, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas. And just thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'm sending you so much love on this at this festive time of year, and I hope you're able to get into the festive spirit somewhat. So I'll see you tomorrow.